First off, hello there. I have not made one of these in a very, very long time. I don't know, I just had some stuff on my mind and I feel like I have figured a lot of it out. And by it, I mean by life. I don't want to do any cuts in this video cuz I don't want to be ingenuine, but I believe there might be some cuts. I haven't done this in a very long time. Um, but anyways, the whole time I felt like I needed discipline, but that was never the case. During this whole time, figuring yourself out or just figuring it out as a young person, or I'd say probably in your early, mid, or late 20s when you're actually attacking the world, I found a huge waste of time in motivation, discipline, or even like things that can stem or fuel your discipline or motivation. Um, I find it to be not a lack of discipline, but rather instead having excessive dopamine that wouldn't allow you to have discipline. You can't. Now it intertwines if you really think about it, because then you would say, oh, you need discipline because discipline would eliminate the lack of dopamine, etc. But I say instead of trying to add more attributes like trying to become more disciplined or finding that stem for your motivation, instead of trying to add these attributes, I've been focusing on rather the process of elimination, eliminating dopamine. With excessive dopamine, you'll find yourself with excessive dopamine, you'd find yourself not being able to focus, not being able to stay in one conversation. Yeah. So, me and my brother have this clothing brand that we're doing right now. Um, it's called Fear Not, by the way. Fear Not, like the religious term. Me and my brother have this clothing brand that we've been working on for a very, very, very long time, and it's been about a little. It's been about a year in the making, I would say, and we're just about ready to drop. We're about ready to promote, advertise, and release. During this process, we've learned many things. And during this process, I've realized many, many things. Now, at first, it was my brother's clothing brand. He's been at this for just about a year more than I have. We found, or he found himself doing a lot of brainstorming, a lot of note taking, a lot of planning, a lot of filler. I like to call it filler episodes. You know, when you're watching a show or anime, or just anything like that, and there's filler episodes, like the ones that don't really matter, that just kind of just fill the space, kind of like if you have nothing to say, you start saying like a filler word. We've been, or at least he's been doing these filler things, like a whole bunch of note taking, a whole bunch of brainstorming, and which ultimately leads to never getting anything done, because we would have a notebook filled with sketches of mocks, sketches of what our piece is going to look like, um, XYZ. And now, don't get me wrong, he's the root of the whole clothing brand. But as soon as, as I'm working my 9 to 5 job and I'm looking at that, I'm getting tired of working every single day at a place that I'm not a fan of now. I don't hate jobs, etc. I just we'd all prefer if we were doing something of our own, right? Anyways, I come home one day from work and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of this. I'm so tired of this. And then I just remember that my brother's doing a clothing brand, and I'm just like, yo, like, Jacob, what happened to the clothing brand? What are you doing for it, right? And he's like, oh, like, I don't know, I haven't worked on it in 2 months. And I'm just like, why? Why is it we hate our situations so much that we dread it every single waking minute, second of the day, but we do not do anything to get us away from it? It's like it's like finding shit on the ground and you start playing in it, versus finding shit on the ground and picking it up and throwing it away. I don't know why we do this, but at the same time, I know why we do this. Because we are more in love with the idea than the reality of it. We are more, just think about that. We are more in love with the idea than the reality, which is why we love brainstorming and planning and telling everybody, your mom, your brother, your sister, your friends, your cousins, about your plans, about what you want to do, about what you're going to do. A lot of people do come up to me, you know, while I'm at work, or while, I'm at just wherever, and we somehow get into the conversation of, or the topic of what we want to do in life. And it's a whole bunch of talking and a whole bunch of brainstorming, but zero action. I have a friend, and he, I know him from working at a warehouse. Really cool dude. He is a really funny guy. He wants to be a content creator. He wants to do pranks, he wants to do streaming. And at the end of it, I asked him, "Do you have a YouTube channel?" And he says no. I'm like, "Okay. Do you have a Gmail for the YouTube channel, like to receive inquiries, etc.?" No. In fact, he asked me, "How do you make one?" And I'm just there, like, thinking, wow, this is really all of us. This is me, this is you, this is everybody. We are more in love with the idea than the reality of it. That is why I'm so against brainstorming. Now, of course, you need to brainstorm a little bit. You need to know what you're doing. But there comes to a point where you need to just dive in. You need to dive in there in order to actually learn. Instead of taking notes and notes and notes, you will learn way faster. I can't watch skateboarding videos on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, other tricks, you know, beginner, intermediate, professional, and just keep watching them and just automatically be able to do them. I need to go on that. I need to turn off my phone. I need to turn off that. I need to close that video. I need to grab my skateboard and go outside. And I need to fall a million times before I actually start to learn. And I know it's way more trickier when you're trying to do that with a business because it's financial, especially with people like me. I'm 23 and I have a lot of bills to pay, or at least very important bills to pay. So if I tend to fall too much, it'll impact my life in a very negative way. But all I know is that there was a quote. It said something in the lines of, now it's gonna be very messy, but it's something in the lines of, if you ever wanted to do something in life, you would always want to have started at your youngest self. And right now is the youngest you'll ever be. So start now. So even if I'm scared to walk in the waters or do any of that, I just need to dive right in and go for it, And this is something that I've been practicing. Anyways, I told my brother, it's been 2 months, you haven't been working on the business. You know what? I don't have a niche myself. I don't know what I'm doing, so that doesn't mean I should be sitting still, sitting trying to figure out what I want to do. How about I spend all my time and my effort to make my brother's dreams come true even faster, or make his job even easier to accomplish it. So I started helping him with the clothing brand. And during this, I have learned so much. Instead of brainstorming, I said, what can we do right now? What can we do right now to get further into this? What can we do right now to get further into this? What is the next step? And he says, uh, have a meeting with the manufacturer and give him our fabrics so that he could start sewing it. So I said, okay, well then let's call him and set up an appointment so we could do that tomorrow or this week. Then that's what he did. Then right when he called and set up that appointment, I then said, what comes after this step? What comes after this step? Right? That's what you need to be asking yourself. What is the very next step? It's actually that simple. It's about the efficient work that you put outside of work, you know? It's about the efficient work that you put outside of work. It's been pretty great just eliminating the brainstorming phase, the procrastination phase, the phase of talking. I can't be compared to anyone anymore because I'm not just a sayer now, I'm actually a doer. So I'm actually getting things done and getting things out of the way to move forward versus having an idea of a perfect plan on how it's going to go. That's what we need to do. So I believe that we need to do things that we know we're supposed to be doing. There's no magic sauce, there is no secret formula. That thing that you know you're supposed to be doing, you have to go and do it. Now, I'm not just yapping here, I'm actually implementing what I've just said. I've been implementing what I just said because over the course of the past 6 months that I've been involved in this clothing brand business, we've gotten so far to the point where it took him, my brother, about 2 years, or I believe a year and a half, to get outside of the note taking and the sketching phase. But as soon as I started implementing this strategy of what is next, what we have to do right now, eliminating dopamine and stop getting distracted by little things and actually just focusing on what we need to do and not just feeling satisfied the second we do that one step, but rather keep going and doing the step after that and the step after that one until you're actually tired and you have to wait till tomorrow to go do it. That simple. It's only taken us 6 months now. Here we are. We're dropping next month. So it really is that simple. It really, really is that simple. And I don't understand why it took so long to start doing this because I already knew this for the entire time. But just now, or just for the past 6 months, I've been implementing it. Now I'm still working on it. But for the past 6 months, that's where I've been implementing it. And it's never felt better than this. This is the best feeling ever. This is the best feeling ever. You have to. I know that you want to be an influence for everybody around you and for yourself. I know you want to do these things. You want to be that person that you brainstorm about being. And all it takes is to do your brainstorming. All it takes is to actually do your brainstorming. You have to respect yourself enough to improve, to change, to eliminate. You need to have that respect for yourself because in reality, you don't. That is why you are not in the position that you want to be in right now. That is why you're always too self conscious on how you're acting or how you acted. This is why you're not happy with how people view you, is because you're not implementing what you think about. You have to not fall in love with the idea, but to fall in love with the reality of yourself, the reality of it. And you make that reality.